That's how you know he's the greatest. That's the only sport where the other 4 in the top 5 say, "Nah, it's him. He better than all of us." Like that's how you know he's the greatest of all time.
But man, listen to this though. when we talk about boxing and personalities, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just 2 men that come to my mind with boxing and personality.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say one of them, the greatest, and his name is the greatest, Muhammad Ali.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Floyd Mayweather right up underneath that, as far as like personality wise. Because a lot of people didn't understand what Muhammad Ali was doing in his time.
Mm-hmm.
When you want to go back to the basics of marketing,
Mm-hmm. Right.
Ali was the best.
Yep.
Ali was the best.
Yep.
Ali will drop some bars on you.
Yep. You know, one of the things people don't know about Muhammad Ali, he grew up idolizing a wrestler, Gorgeous George.
Yeah.
And so he picked up on that.
Okay.
On that, you know.
That make better sense.
Yeah,
that make better sense.
He saw how that was working, so he's
Yeah.
like, man, that'll work for me. I'll talk about my opponent. I'll rhyme. I'll predict when I'll beat him, like Gorgeous George used to do.
Ali said, man, I turned off the light switch, and I was in my bed before the lights went out.
Man, he was Muhammad Ali was charismatic. He was handsome, which is important. And a lot of people don't really look at that. When you look at like all of the greatest fighters of all time, this is why people kill me sometimes when they say, "Oh, he don't look like a fighter. This person don't look like a fighter." Like most of the greatest fighters who ever lived are handsome guys. Sugar Ray Robinson, Jack Dempsey, Muhammad Ali, Joe Louis, Oscar De La Hoya, Sugar Ray Leonard, Floyd Mayweather's in the ugly guy. Most of these guys are handsome guys.
Right.
So when people say, you know, that this guy don't look like a fighter, and you know what got everybody messed up? Everybody know who messed everybody up. Mike Tyson. Everybody think a fighter's supposed to look like Mike Tyson, when technically
Mike Tyson looked like my daddy to me.
Technically, Mike Tyson, one of the things that was so appealing about Mike Tyson was when you know boxing, he was the guy who looked absolutely nothing like a boxer. People like that don't do well in the sport.
Right.
You know, Joe Frazier and Mike Tyson. Yeah. You don't have a bunch of short-armed, stocky people. You're not built for boxing.
Right.
You get tired too quick. You carry too much muscle.
That's fact.
So he was a phenomenon.
Yeah.
That he was good at boxing. And Joe Frazier, they were good at boxing because they not built for it. Boxing is built for lanky, loose muscle, you know, quick twitch people who can, you know, stick from a distance. Right. It's not made for people who like. So when people talk about what a fighter looks like, they really need to reframe their mind. You hear people saying it. That's one of the things to me that gets people about Bud. You look at him.
Yeah.
Do that dude look like the dude who?
They say he look like a TSA worker.
He's sleepy eyed. He looks harmless.
Right.
He doesn't look the part.
He'll do you dirty.
To a lot of people.
He'll do you dirty.
A lot of people look at him and like, what? But yeah, he will. But you know, a lot of people need to get over what a fighter look like.
But speaking of him though, right? And I said earlier, you got to be careful what you feed people, right? Mm-hmm. He had so much bottled up energy. Mm-hmm. You got to understand what a person feels like when they don't get their just due in the sport. Mm-hmm. And he felt like for a long time he didn't get his just due. Right. And he heard a lot of things that Floyd Mayweather heard. Mm-hmm. Oh, you beat him, he too little. Mm-hmm. You beat him because old boy beat him.
Right. A lot of excuses.
A lot of excuses trying to dismiss him.
Right.
And he made it on a big stage. Right? And on this big stage, we've seen a lot of great fights. Mm-hmm. But we never seen a great fighter make someone look like how Terence Crawford made Errol Spence greatness look.
There are a few that come to mind.
It looked like, watching the fight, it looked like Errol Spence was not supposed to be in that ring.
There are a few that come to mind. Foreman Frazier for one.
Oh yeah.
Like that was crazy.
I mean, but look at the size difference.
Yeah, but nobody. These people, you say that now, like now that it happened.
Man, George Foreman was knocking punching bags out the ceiling.
Nobody knew that then. Nobody Nobody knew that. All they knew was he was a big old country boy who won a gold medal.
I hear from
Houston. And they didn't give him a chance against the guy who had beaten Muhammad Ali and beaten 3 other people after Muhammad. Nobody knew that about. People say that kind of stuff after the fact. Nobody knew that.
Say, man.
He made. You turn it around. He made Foreman look like he didn't belong in the ring.
What round was that?
I think was it 8th or 9th? It was either 8th or 9th. Well, he
That's still a little okay.
Keep stay in the same room. Ali, Clay, and Liston.
That's true.
Like
that's true. I'm talking about of our
generation.
Our generation.
Only one there are a few that come to mind even from my generation. De La Hoya Trinidad, like the first half of that fight. He had Felix Trinidad looking like. Now that's a fight where you could say somebody got exposed because we didn't know Trinidad couldn't punch and move his feet at the same time.
Right.
Which is why he punched so hard because he plants his feet and launches. And he can't punch and move his feet at the same. And
he gonna spin that chin
for other reasons.
He gonna spin that chin
for other reasons. Jones and Tony. That fight was Roy won every round of that fight, but James didn't train for that fight. He admitted he didn't train for that fight.
Man, you know what's crazy is that James Toney had actually reached out to fight Roy Jones way before that.
Right.
Right.
But Roy wasn't ready. Roy wasn't ready.
Roy said that his dad never told him that.
Oh, really?
Roy said that his dad never told him that James Toney wanted him.
I actually think that Roy wasn't ready.
Roy said he wasn't ducking nothing.
I don't think that Roy was ready for. I don't think he was ready for James. When James beat Michael Nunn, right, and then he had to go through a murderer's row. He had to fight. He beat Michael Nunn, and the very next month fought Reggie Sweet Johnson. Now I don't know if anybody knows
Reggie Johnson was a bad boy.
Reggie Johnson.
He out here from Texas too.
Ended up winning the WBA middleweight title from about beating Steve Collins, and then later on won a light heavyweight title with a one-punch knockout. And then Roy took the title from him in the decision. But you don't fight and beat Michael Nunn, almost pass out and collapse after the fight because you just as tired as Nunn is, and then the very next month going against Reggie Johnson, and a few months after that going against Mike the Body Snatcher McCallum.
That's a fact.
So
McCallum was a bad boy too.
James was, and so you look at those fights, and I want to talk about this for a minute. Like I talked about earlier, how now let's stay on topic. You got to be careful what you feed people. I want to stay there. Because Terence, not only did he hear a lot from people and naysayers and from promoters and trainers and whatnot, but just in his upbringing alone.
That's a fact.
His upbringing alone. And I want to be careful with this because, his mother offered an environment that challenged him a lot.
That's a fact.
She would give him that challenge.
I got mad at his mom.
But you can't because
I got mad at his mom
because a mother knows what pushes. You can't tell me that wasn't done out of love. It's tough love. It's hard love. But when you the woman and the daddy not around,
that's a fact.
You got to try to fill both of those roles.
That's a whole nother thing in itself.
Yeah, and so I felt she was doing what she because. You can't tell me that anytime she did that, she didn't see the results.
Right.
You can't tell me that anytime she said, you can't do this, he would go out and do it.
Right.
So she kept doing it because she saw
the
building of somebody who was, I'll show you.
Right.
And when you building that, you see that every time you do that, it's making somebody.
But at the same time, she building that,
mm-hmm.
she actually building a monster that's filled with resentment and something to prove at the same time.
And
that's why I'm saying you got to be careful about what you feed people.
For him,
there's a formula to this.
Sport where you could pour that out.
You could pour it out
on your opponent.
And he was pouring it out.
Yes, you can see him and his mama. They good. They dance.
Yeah. She come in dancing.
Ever since I've been watching Terence since he won his first world title. I like, what? Boy, mama crazy, but she been there the whole time. Just the whole time, just supporting him. So, hey man, props to him.
I think that he made her a believer.
Yeah.
I think he made her believe.
And you don't know, and we don't know the circumstances, man. We don't know the circumstances. I'm growing up out there in Nebraska. We don't know the circumstances of what was going through her or him or that situation.
That's a fact.
But in my opinion, God worked it all out.
He say his mama would call little boys over,
yeah,
just to see if they could beat him up.
Yeah. Yeah.
She paid him $10
Yeah.
to beat her son up.
Yeah, which
Hey,
seems
boy.
which seems real cruel. But I
Hey, man,
remember,
can you imagine that?
yes, I can imagine it because when we were growing up over on D Priest and Morrow, my daddy would put boxing gloves.
That's
on
Acres
me.
Homes, by the way.
Put
We
boxing
are
gloves-
stationed in
Acres
Houston,
Homes,
Texas.
44, baby.
Yes, sir.
West Montgomery, D Priest and Morrow.
Yes, sir. Lovers Lane.
He would put boxing gloves on me, and I would box dudes bigger than me.
Yeah, I don't know
You
if they
stand-
had boxing
stand there
gloves
and
on,
what?
though.
Huh?
I don't know if they had boxing gloves on, though.
And maybe they didn't. But,
You think it was a bare knuckle situation?
you know, a lot of pressure is taken to make gold.
That's a fact.
You know, a lot
And diamonds.
and diamonds.
Yep.
You know, a lot of pressure is taken to make gold and diamonds, and sometimes that pressure and what it takes to make it is ugly, is unfortunate, but the end result.
But I actually think it made him unbeatable, bro. I don't see nobody beating Terence Crawford.
I don't know if I don't see nobody beating him, but I'll tell you this much:
In the weight class that he needs to stay at, because
nobody beats him.
genetics is genetics.
Nobody beats him now. Nobody beats him. Between
Genetics is
147 and 150, 152.
I don't think nobody beats him there.
But I say this: I think he needs to fight maybe 1 or 2 more fights, gets his generational changing paydays, and call it a day. He's 36. He maybe.
I think he
more
probably got about four more fights. You don't think so?
Give him 2 more.
Man, he looks sharp.
I know.
He looks sharp.
I know. And maybe so. You know, people are aging different in boxing now because, you know, a lot of these guys got preserved by the pandemic. The pandemic had a lot of guys preserved.
Yes, sir.
They weren't fighting their regular schedules during the pandemic. So it preserved, just like the penitentiary preserved Bernard Hopkins, the pandemic preserved a lot of these guys.
Man, and Bernard came out here and was on a
yeah,
tear.
people want to know why Bernard was able to fight till he's 50 because he was in the pen, not drinking
Remember when
and
he
smoking.
fought Joe Calzaghe?
Huh?
You remember when he fought Joe Calzaghe?
Yeah, it's Calzaghe. He didn't. Calzaghe had the perfect style to beat him.
That's a fact.
Calzaghe just he hit the way he fought in such a frantic.
He beat Roy Jones
pace.
too. I didn't like.
Yeah,
that.
but that was
I didn't like that.
Really, that was past prime Benoit, past prime Roy. But Calzaghe had a frantic style that would not let them just get comfortable.
That's a fact.
And he didn't beat up Benoit. He edged out Benoit in that fight. Let's be clear. But he had that frantic style that just.
I want to spend some time on Spence though, right?
Okay.
Because I love Errol Spence.
Mhm.
I still think he's great.
I do too.
If y'all on that Errol Spence bandwagon, don't y'all get off.
Don't get off.
Don't get off, man.
Don't get off.
Man, look, I think
He's a first ballot Hall of Fame.
Man,
fighter.
I think he's going to come back better than what he was, bro. Because one thing about Spence, and you know, he's from Texas, bro.
Yeah.
When we take a loss, we come back better.
Yeah. He's not done. I don't think he's done by a long shot. I think he needs to take some time to rest.
He needs to take a lot of
needs to
time.
see his-
I think he needs to take at least a
he
year.
needs to see neurologists just to make sure everything is copacetic.
Yeah.
Make sure he's good because he was taking a lot of punches square to the face.
Yeah.
And that'll damage you. So he needs to make sure he's okay and clear
Right.
to fight because the man say what you want, but the man's got family. He's got children to raise. Terrence has children to raise. So at the end of the day, I just want to see these fellas. Look, boxing is littered with unfortunate endings. You know, it's littered with sitting up and you're watching your childhood hero in his old age. He ain't got no money. He can't understand what he's saying. Boxing. That's why I'm so happy about Floyd because I'm tired of the tragedies. I'm tired of seeing my favorite fighter I grew up watching. Oh man, that's so
You know what Roy Jones is doing?
What?
Roy Jones got an app. Think it's I forgot the name of it. But it's an app that allows boxers to. It's like a 401k for boxers.
Oh yeah, I saw. Yeah.
It's like
that's good.
I think that's great.
That's good. You know, you got people like him who's.
But it ain't just for boxers though. It's really for everybody. But his target is boxers.
Fighter. Yeah, and
you know
you see a lot. You see a lot of fighters now starting to change that narrative.
Yeah. So it's like a boxing 401k.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got Floyd changing the narrative. You know, Andre Ward.
Yeah.
Joe Calzaghe walked away. Carl Froch just walked away. You know, you got the Klitschko's who walked away. You got fighters now who are walking away with their faculties and their money.
That's a fact.
So you know you seeing that start to happen now. You start to see it in football first. You seeing people just 28. So and so announced his retirement today after 5 years. Like what? No. People not doing that no more, man. They got their health and their families to look after. So fighters now, you starting to see fighters. You starting to see these guys
just walk away.
Walk away.
You seen Keith Thurman?
Keith Thurman walked away.
He got that bag and was
Sean
like,
Porter walked away, got him a podcast.
Yeah,
and and you know what allows us to do that today is you got so many more avenues now to make money. These guys can retire and go into broadcasting. Yeah. They can retire and they can go into podcasting. They can go and get YouTube channels. They can go and do this, do that, and open up gyms and do all that. So there's so many other avenues now for fight and fighting now. Although I have my issue with young boxing fans.
But that's why I love Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah,
because he actually is showing that way as well.
Right.
Like he's making
he's the catalyst for it.
Man, yeah.
He's the catalyst for it.
And he's actually making boxers have more of a business mind now.
He's the catalyst for it. And
so people are getting into more different investments.
Yeah.
Expanding their portfolio.
Yeah.
But
I want to I want to I want to talk about a couple of fighters that's on my radar.
Okay.
That I want everybody to look out for.
I know Tank better be on there.
Tank is on my radar.
I know he better be on there.
Tank is a beast. I think he needs to stop this talk about fighting Terence Crawford. I think he needs to quit that.
Yeah, he need to stop.
Devin Haney, great
Shakur
fighter.
Stevenson got to be on there.
Devin Haney, great fighter. I think that one with Loma was up in the air.
Yeah.
I
think they need that rematch. They need to run that back.
Shakur Stevens, he's the pedigree. He's the Olympian.
And he won't Devin Haney.
Look, he got that.
You know who else want Devin Haney right now?
Who?
Progress.
Oh yeah, I could see
that's
that.
another bad boy.
Yeah, very bad.
That's another bad boy. He from out there, Louisiana.
I could see him.
He a bad boy.
I could see him easily get with Devin Haney.
He a bad boy.
Hey, that division.
That's another one I feel like they trying to blackball for some reason.
Why?
I don't know. Get that man the fights he want.
Yeah.
Stop ducking. Y'all stop ducking, bro. If you lose, you lose.
Yeah.
The real one's still going to love you.
Yeah, but
that's what it's about. The real one's loving you.
Yeah.
The real one's going to love you.
Absolutely. I think right now, though, none of those guys need to worry about messing with Terence Crawford. I hear a lot of people talking about boots. Look.
It ain't nothing to prove right there.
Nah, ain't nothing to prove. Not only is there nothing to prove right there, but look, man, I've seen that before, right? I've seen the undefeated young, up-and-coming star with the big knockout record. That was Julian Jackson, right? 28-0, 28 knockouts. Fought Mike McCallum, got dusted.
Yeah.
John the Beast Mugabe, 26-0 with 26 knockouts. Fought Marvin Hurley, got dusted.
McCallum was a bad boy, though.
Yuri Boy Camp was 54-0, 51 knockouts. Fought Felix Trinidad, got dusted. So, I've seen that before, man. I've already watched that movie. I know how it ends. He's not ready. So, Crawford needs to move on. But, yeah, Shakur Stevens is the truth, bro. Shakur Stevens,
he's definitely the
next
truth.
Superstar. I think he needs to continue to work
with Crawford, and he needs to continue working with Crawford.
He needs to continue to work with
yes, he does.
You look at the people that was in Crawford's camp, man. He couldn't do nothing but win.
That's a fact.
But one of the things I like about Shakur, he has what I think is missing a lot today. He is the virtuoso puncher. He throws a lot of virtuoso combinations. You don't see that anymore. The only guys that you see throw virtuoso combinations today is Lomachenko.
Yeah, Lomo.
And Shakur Stevens.
Yeah.
Those are the only guys you see throw virtuoso. Everybody else now is like a tapper.
Yeah.
Like they look like.
That's what I miss, man.
Money May.
I miss the shoe shine. Remember the shoe shine?
Money May was a tapper. Money May was and that's where they get it from.
Pretty Boy Floyd,
punch, 2 punch, 1 punch you. But Pretty Boy Floyd, let them things.
He was letting them go. I take it back. Floyd Mayweather made Gotti look.
Oh no, you wrong one. I thought you was going the right place. Wrong one. Floyd Mayweather and Chico Corrales.
That was a great fight.
Yeah, no,
that was a great fight.
That was a one-sided beat.
Yeah, but those two was great.
Yeah, they were.
He didn't do them like Gotti though.
Oh, but Gaddy was about done. Even though Gaddy had a belt, he had been through all those wars. He had been knocked out by De La Hoya. He had been beaten by Angel Manfredi. He fought the 3 wars with Mickey Ward.
Mickey Ward. Yeah.
Corrales was 33-0.
And
undefeated. Top 5 pound for pound.
That's a fact.
Had really jumped Floyd pound for pound because Floyd was going through legal issues.
Floyd was in his 20s. Early, he was like 20-something.
He was 23. He was 23.
I'm talking about his record.
He was like 22, 23-0.
Yeah.
But he had been inactive because he was having legal trouble.
Yeah.
And Chico was all the rave. Man, he beat Chico like a drum, which for the life of me, I'll never understand. Although he was successful at it, and it created for some spectacular fights, particularly against Jose Luis Castillo. But I would never.
Castillo was a good fight too.
Never understand for the life of me why a dude who was my height was fighting like he was a 5'5" Mexican. Like he didn't use a jab. He walked in like this with his hands up.
But that go back to the Mexican style fight.
But he's not even a Mexican. He's half black.
His
daddy look like you.
He ain't show that half black side.
Nah, man. Nah.
Yeah, man. But look, man, we gonna have to wrap it up, man. You got anything to say to these people before we wrap it up?
Hey, man, study the sport. And I want to say this to all you young fight fans who get on social media and start these race wars. We're not about that, man. Like, look, anybody can lose and anybody can win.
That's a fact.
I see a lot of this stuff. I like the fact that all of these youngsters are getting into boxing, but nobody's race or nationality is better than the next. So you guys just let's stay in the. I understand the tribal nature of it, but like let's keep it peace, man. Let's just enjoy the sport. I love all of the fans. Stay following the sport. Learn and study the sport.
Respect the fighters,
man. Not just about the people who fight now, but learn the history of the sport so you can see how far this sport has come, and it'll help you establish a greater appreciation for the sport. Yeah. I guarantee that.
You know, y'all need to look up Archie Moore too, man.
Mongoose.
Archie Moore was a bad
had more
boy.
knockouts than any fight in boxing history.
Hey, anybody. He got the record.
You know what Archie Moore would do that would help him make weight and why he was able to maintain his punching power? Archie Moore, when he would eat to make weight, he would always walk. He fought at 175, but he would always walk around like 220. But what he would do was like when he would eat a steak, he would chew it and spit the meat out and just suck all the nutrients from it. He never swallowed his food while he was in training. He would just suck all the nutrients out of his food and spit the actual the matter.
That's kind of smart though.
Out. That's how he would make weight.
That's kind of.
He never missed the nutrients.
Y'all ain't never heard nothing like that, man.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't heard. But look, I want to thank you, man.
Yeah, man.
I want to thank you for coming out.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
For real.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me. I enjoyed it, man. I hope I'm back.
Man, look, man, you come back anytime. Hey, so look, man, I'm so glad you came and do this. So for y'all, man, this is our first one. This is the first Big Fish podcast episode, man. But I do want to let y'all know that we will be covering business. We'll be covering sports and entertainment, man. And this guy right here sitting next to me is one of the best boxing minds that I could find. And that is probably in the city of Houston, bro. You heard the knowledge he was dropping on y'all, man. So, man, I want to thank you again for coming out. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. I said I want to thank y'all for tuning in. You understand what I'm saying? Albert, you want to sign out?
Peace out. See y'all next time.
Yes, sir. Peace out. See y'all.